Hi, and welcome to Two Tired Teachers.
We are coming at you from Saddle Lake Campground
In the Hoosier National Forest.
in southern Indiana. And we just came right straight across the southern part there. And as you're coming down on this little Highway 37, there are going to be a number of National Forest campgrounds. And the closer you are to Interstate 64, the first two up there actually have RV services, so I'm assuming water, electric.
Yes.
And a dump station at one
Yes.
of them. We are just out here dry camping, but then again, with her pass, we're only paying $2.50 a night. It's $5 a night otherwise. And this little campground just has 13 campsites. It has a little lake, and we'll be showing you a lot of this throughout. And I want to be honest that as we were coming here, our goal, we thought, was just to be sitting here resting and not doing much.
Sure.
But we stopped at the state line and picked up some information and found out where we are. We were really going to be close to Santa Claus, Indiana. And so we decided, you know what, being just, 15 miles from Santa, we would make a trip over there. And then as we started looking, one of the more interesting things that we found
was an arch abbey that is in St. Meinrad, Indiana.
It's St. Meinrad's Arch Abbey, I believe.
Yes. And it is one of 11 arch abbeys in the world. 2 are in the U.S.
And I got to tell you, it was, we didn't know what to expect, and we'd worn shorts and T-shirts just because that's our uniform. And it was amazing.
There's a seminary there for priests or for people who want to become priests or monks. And a young man we talked to is studying to become a priest, and he had lots of information.
He'd actually attended University of Dallas, and so it was University of Texas at Dallas. But it was fascinating. We went in the visitor center, and they give you really good directions to get to the visitor center, and they give you a little map of the grounds, and we went in the we went to the front of the chapel, and even though it was overcast, cloudy, and all this other stuff, it was amazing.
It was very impressive.
And the stained glass windows and the architecture and the history.
And the stained glass windows, the 12 around there, were of the Beatitudes.
And it was just amazing. Being able to be there and just walk through, and you know the history that this place has is just fascinating. There is a cemetery there that
I'm assuming that
they're
all monks and priests buried there. The stones are identical.
Yeah, unfortunately, we did not get out there and take pictures of that. And then the gift shop is kind of just your typical gift shop, except
they have a casket store in there as well. I guess the monks who live there make caskets.
And it just did not seem right to me to film in there. I mean, I don't think they would have minded really, but...
And the caskets were empty, by the way, but...
It just didn't seem, to me, it didn't seem respectful, and so I did not. But they were beautiful. They were beautiful, but they were just wooden boxes, and with a cross on front. They were polished. They were they had several different kinds you could choose from, but it was really interesting, and just 4 miles from Santa.
There was a workshop there. Never mind.
So we went to Santa Claus, Indiana, and took some pictures of the sign there
and
at front.
The town embraces.
I gotta tell you,
name.
Yeah, we are definitely here in off season in October, but they have
the holiday park is open on weekends for Halloween, even though it's.
As you come in, you can pick up some information about the Rudolph Resort and different campground and RV resort. And there are water parks, theme parks.
Yes.
And then there's a little strip shopping center with the post office.
And
Ornament store. And the information. And I got to tell you, I took a picture of this information sign. And I taught with a lady that's from Indiana, and so there's a group of us, and I just sent the picture and said I did not realize that Santa and Lincoln were such good friends. And my friend from Indiana sent back and said, really? It's in all the Hoosier history history books. And she said, if you don't believe me, just go to Abe's cabin. There's a chimney. So, there you've learned something right here. But there was if you want any kind of ornaments or lights or anything year round, this is a place to go. And we found out that you can send Christmas cards to Santa, Indiana. And they will, like, you send them in a box or in a package, and they will open them and postmark them from Santa, Indiana, and mail them on out. And I think that's December 1st through the 24th.
Yes.
Obviously, if you send them there on the 24th, they're not going to get out on time. But if you want more information, you can go to their particular, I believe, website and get information. But it was a fun little place. And then from there, we did go to Lincoln's boyhood home. Now, Lincoln got around. I'm here to tell you. He was born in Kentucky. And sometime between the age of 7 and 14, we're not really sure, they say 7, he came to Indiana and spent his formative years here and then went on to Illinois. So this trip, we're kind of clicking off the states that we're just following Lincoln in reverse. He's getting younger as we go.
And he may have wound up in Washington, D.C.
May have. We're not positive about that. But this was a really interesting place, and while the buildings that you can go and see are recreations, there is one place there where you can actually see the stone outline that Thomas Lincoln, Abraham's father, that they put down, and were going to use that for their cabin. But then they have time or era representative buildings here that you can walk around, and it was fun. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't go all the way down. I didn't realize there were live animals down there at the farm, at the active farm down there. I would have gone on down. But just the buildings here with a one-room cabin, the wood shop area, the coop for the chickens, the barn for the horses, etc. And then just a short hike, a short little path, there is the well, and that really is the well where they got their water.
Yes.
The Lincoln family got their water. And this...
It has been kept.
Yes, it has been kept. But this National Historic Site is actually on property, I believe it was 160-something acres that Thomas Lincoln bought. And this National Historic Site is on part of that land. And so it was neat. It was nice.
If you're coming and you want to stay right at it, just across the street from the entrance to the National Park is a state park.
Yeah, there is no camping or anything there at the National, let's see here, it is a National Memorial. But the state park right there does have camping, but I'm sure that's somewhere where you're going to have to make reservations in advance, pretty much in advance. But it was very interesting, and I got to tell you, it made for hitting these 3 spots made for a really nice day. And now, coming back around to the campground, as you can see, we're in this site, and we've got plenty of room.
Yes.
There are a couple of others that are probably a little bit bigger. I'm very thankful that we like to travel the same way.
Yes.
The only time we've gotten to a campsite at dark was our first time, our first trip. And we learned from that. But this place, there are a couple of campsites, I think, that would accommodate larger rigs. And we're saying that because night before last, I'm guessing he was about a 40-foot fifth wheel. He was
35 to 40. It was
big.
One.
It was big.
And once night falls, it is dark here.
Yeah, there are no
Very dark.
lights. And and it was raining that night. I mean,
There were a lot of strikes against
this
him.
guy. And he tried a couple of different sites, but he couldn't see, and it was raining.
He had a spotter out, but there's nothing a spotter can do when you can't see the road from where you're spotting.
And honestly, even here where I was backing in, I was very careful because there is a little ditch.
Yes.
And I wanted to make, on the other side, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get my front wheels off in the little ditch. So anyway, if you're coming here, I strongly recommend you get here before dark.
Yes. Eventually, they gave up and
they went down toward the lake and stopped in an area that aren't supposed to have camping, but it was dark. It was a level spot. They didn't put any slides out, and they weren't impeding anyone's travel. I mean, I didn't begrudge them staying there at all, but I do wonder how they got turned around because there is an area down there, I guess, that they could, but...
There's a little turnaround, but the's no way it would accommodate...
No, I mean, our van, it was kind of a tight turnaround, just making it with just the van. But anyway, so, having said that, if you are a larger RV and you want to try and stay in this little campground, yeah, come on. There are a couple of sites you can probably get.
And there are campgrounds all along, so, I mean, you're not going to be stuck out here without anything.
But you probably want to, like we said, get here before dark and
scope them out.
Yeah, and have some idea. But this is a beautiful, beautiful little campground, and man, we have enjoyed.
Yes,
I've gotten $750s worth of enjoyment out of this,
and we haven't even spent the last $250. So.
Yeah, we're going to do that tonight. So, you know, it's just bonus there. But anyway, and each night I think 4 or 5 sites have been occupied.
Yeah.
And so it's just a nice, quiet little campground. Yes. And like we said, a good jumping off point for some of these sites in southern Indiana. So we hope you've enjoyed our look at Saddle Lake Campground. And as always, thanks for watching Two Tired Teachers.